Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on Saturday of the first weekend of the NFL. We're not counting Thursday. It was just brutal. I can't get two coaches who rest their quarterbacks all spring, and they look like not taking a snap.
Good win by Green Bay, though.
But a big win by Green Bay, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I was too disappointed, but Sunday won't be that way. Lots of games. They're going to be exciting ones. We know that for sure. Just want to remind you, if you're new to the show, ultimatesportschannel.com. Go there and see a full read of all the sports that are happening every single day. Make it your morning page, as well as you'll see in there where we're showing on our podcast, both video and audio. You'll see sponsors, lots of things going on there. So please visit the website and learn all about us. So we're expanding like crazy. Over 215,000 views on Vimeo.com alone last month of August. So it's growing like crazy. We appreciate it. Numbers are starting to move on other podcast channels. Vimeo was #1 for us, so that's why it's growing the most. But we're so happy everybody's getting involved. So let's get to this show here. Is about the Super Bowl. It should be part of our sports wagering show, but it's not going to be a weekly feature. So we thought we'd do a separate show. We also want to admit we might change our mind during the season, but the best time to get odds is at the beginning of the season because there's the most mystery. So that's what we've done really, is take a look here at who do we think is going to win the Super Bowl, get those long odds. We always like to get a bet in early in the season on this one. And we, like I said, we might adjust depending on how the season's going, how the odds are going. But here's Super Bowl prediction, show #1. Joey, what do you got?
Well, I got, for starters, in the NFC, New Orleans versus Dallas, and I feel like that will be the case because of their weaker divisions, and I feel like they'll have an easier road than other teams. New Orleans, I feel like, should have been there last year, is going to get to the NFC Championship.
They create a whole new rule because of the reason they're not there.
Well, first of all, they did reach the NFC Championship game last year. I feel they're going to do it again, and spoiler alert, they're going to make the Super Bowl. So like I said, they should have been there last year. They're going to make it this year. New Orleans versus Dallas. New Orleans beats Dallas, gets in the Super Bowl. I actually will spoil who I have to win the Super Bowl, and that'll be New Orleans. New Orleans will win the Super Bowl.
But I didn't hear a certain team. I didn't hear the Patriots in there.
Hold on. In the AFC, you have the New England Patriots versus the LA Chargers in the AFC Championship game. For me, Chargers win their division this year, so they get some home games. But New England versus LA in the AFC Championship game, New England makes it to the Super Bowl. So I'm predicting what should have been of this year, New England versus New Orleans. And I feel like in sports, we get these moments all the time where the sports gods go, this was meant to be. We need to see this matchup. And honestly, New England versus New Orleans will also provide Drew Brees versus Tom Brady, two legends of the game. Drew Brees essentially needing this last Super Bowl to cement his career in my mind. And in fact, I think would retire if winning it. So this is a moment I think is meant to be. New England versus New Orleans. NFC Championship game, New Orleans and Dallas. AFC Championship game, New England and Chargers. Setting up New Orleans versus New England in the Super Bowl. And New Orleans coming on top, getting that Super Bowl at 9-1. The city would be going nuts. I think it would be great for the city, for the team, for the quarterback, for the head coach. Stop Brady in his tracks. Another legend doing it to him. And a legend cementing his Hall of Fame legacy. And possibly, like I said, I think being enough for him to walk away from the game if he got that second Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think you're right about a couple of things. One is timing is just coming on Tom. I mean, eventually he's going to lose the Super Bowl. I mean, this has just been an insane run that he's had. And also, there is a barrier that you must hit, or you might as well throw away your quarterback career. If you cannot win as many Super Bowls as Eli Manning, you must consider your career a total failure. His brother did it at his last moment.
Retired.
Now Drew Brees is going to do it at his last moment, so they do not finish behind Manning. I mean, Eli Manning, it's astounding to me. It's such a bad quarterback. Anyway, he does have 2 Super Bowls. He does have that on everybody. So my barrier is if you don't win 2, your career's been a disappointment. So we think New Orleans is going to do that. Well, you do. I'm going to go on the other side. But the other part is, this year, if you do follow basketball, you know the Raptors were the champions out of Toronto. And we had this thing called Jurassic Park. Millions of fans watching the Raptors every night at outdoor facilities set up to watch the games. New Orleans, which is already the party city of the world, maybe, certainly North America, the parties would be crazy if they get to the Super Bowl and are able to win. So that's an added benefit in my mind if they get there. That'll be incredible.
It's just meant to be. You see it all the time.
Yeah, it's meant to be. I don't disagree with you. However, I think there's better teams, and that brings up mine. I've got Seattle versus who in the conference versus New Orleans. I think Seattle, this is a year that's going to go back to when they went back-to-back in the Super Bowl. I was hoping they would change their coach over that period of time. I'm one of the few people who dislike him so much. But I think they've solidified a team that can't lose this year. I'll give him credit. He has built a great defense over again, which he, dismantled one great defense and built another one. But you know what? They've signed Wilson. They've got a great receiving core. They got great running game. Everything is there. There's virtually no reason to miss. So Seattle will win the conference and will move on to the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, they're going to play Kansas City, who's going to beat New England this year. Another year under the belt of their quarterback. Mahomes, I think, is going to be outstanding this year. They've still got all the weapons. I know they had some drama, but they got enough weapons to just crush it on the offensive side. This will continue this year. So my Super Bowl, Kansas City versus Seattle. Seattle to win the Super Bowl at 23-1. Put your $100 on that one right now. It's the easiest $2,300 you'll ever make. And that is what I'm predicting. Seattle to win the Super Bowl and start actually, again, a 2 or 3 year run. They have redone this team over again. Teams don't do that, like win, and they should have won the second one. We all know the story there. And then retool their whole team and be as good as they were when they're in the Super Bowl. I think they could do that. Obviously New England does that almost every season, but I think Seattle will do that this year.
And Seattle's been called the New England of the NFC. Now, it's a bit of a stretch because of how great New England is. What people try to say is they've been so consistent. They've rebuilt and retooled every single year to get back to the playoffs and had chances, honestly, with better kickers. Might have gone farther. Getting home field, though, winning this division is what's going to be important. And that's what you're predicting. And in that case, I do see them going far. If they can do that, running through Seattle is very, very difficult. And that's how they got to the Super Bowl, was winning their division and having a couple home games to get to that Super Bowl. So,
and I think
very interesting. I think, sorry, real quick, that Super Bowl will be the future Super Bowl. I mean, you got to think Wilson, Mahomes, Kansas City, Seattle. It could set up for a couple Super Bowls down the road. And like you said, both those teams getting there quite often throughout the years.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's really one of those Super Bowls as well that is about youth, which is great. Brady needs to stop. I mean, I love Tom Brady, just like I love Tiger Woods. I love the greats, the Super Bowl greats of their time, and the greatest golfer, obviously. But time comes for that to end and the new guys to come. It's all about, young fans having somebody new to cheer about that's around their age. You're 22. Nice to have, quarterbacks in their 20s that are winning Super Bowls. I've had that with Brady. I was with Brady, unfortunately, when he was really just coming into the league. So we've had this superstar. I want to see some new superstars. Russell Wilson is as close as you can get. He's already won a Super Bowl. Already should have won a second one, other than coach is an idiot. And then he's coming back now with more chance. And who knows what they would have done if they didn't get spooked out of losing that first one. So anyway, that's my pick for this year. Get the simplest $2,300 you've ever made in your life. Bet Seattle all the time you can with their odds. And I think the pressure's on not to start 2-3 this year. They've always had this okay thing to start on a losing streak. I don't think that's happening.
And they got a better schedule in those early games. They also got a home game to start here, start 1-0. And Wilson did play.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think we're going to see those lazy starts that they've had in the past. And we'll see what that takes. That's it. That's our Super Bowl show for right now. There will be changes to this. Obviously, if we have a team go out and lose 3 or 4, like Seattle's done before, there might be a reason to change.
What a great world we'll live in, though. You got Wilson versus Breeze in the NFC, potentially. Mahomes versus Brady in the AFC.
Young,
it'd be a great moment of, football and really kind of have the two generations meet and two teams. Like I said, you got the legends or you got the youngsters. Either way, you'd have a win-win Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
And it'd be something really, really cool, though, just to see those championship games.
Those would be amazing games. The passing of the torch. 2 young guys will come through, and we'll see what happens there. I do feel for Drew Brees. I'd be happy if he wins. I don't think he will, but I hate to see anybody end up their career behind Eli Manning. So I do hope that he wins, but I don't think he will. There you go, Super Bowl show. We'll be back as needed, depending on the records of our teams. We opt to change our mind on this one. All right, we'll talk to you later, and enjoy this weekend. Bunch of games Sunday, 2 games Monday. In case you haven't looked, 2 games Monday night. Doesn't happen very often. Not the greatest games, maybe.
There's 1 game Monday, and then there's 2 teams that are going to go out on the field. A couple high school teams, but but we love football at the start of the year, so it's okay. We'll watch them all. There you go. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Tuesday to recap all of this, and hopefully we've had a good weekend.